Welcome back to Tracy's Dog Podcast. I am Adrienne, your podcast hostess with the mostest, your sex positive bestie, excited to talk to you today about ways that you can level up your sex life in 2025. In fact, I have 7 ways. I want to start off by saying that this podcast is for educational purposes only. My goal here is to share sex positive topics and experiences with you so that you can live a more fulfilled and happier, exploratory, evolving, amazing sex life. Okay, I'm excited to talk about this because I feel like in my own sexual journey, it has been so liberating. And I wish that the world could have more of this, right? Like more sex, more orgasms. It would lead to world peace. I really, truly feel like that. So I'm excited to talk to you about this today. Let's get started. Also, I know my outfit is very rare. I am definitely a cougar, so I'm feeling the part today. Let's talk about 7 ways that you can level up your sex life in 2025. So the first one, by far, pro tip, is communication, okay? So when we talk about what leads to a better sex life, what leads to more sex, more fulfilling with your partner, I often hear people say, well, I wish my husband would do this. Or Adrienne, how do I get my spouse to do that? And I say to them, have you asked them? Have you talked to them? And they're like, well, no, I can't. And I'm like, wait a minute. Your partner's not a mind reader. How are they supposed to know? So we need to open up the communication lines, right? Have a discussion with your partner. And some key things to do here is to make sure that you pick the right timing. Not when you're rushing around, not when you're having an argument, not when you're just done having sex, right? Like it needs to be a neutral space, a very secure place and safe place for you and your partner just to have an open-ended conversation. And you could say something like, hey, I had a lot of fun with you last week. What was your favorite thing that I did? Make it like sexy talk. You can do that as well. And be vulnerable. Openly share with your partner. You don't want to come in guns blazing like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. I want to get a sex swing and I want to go to a club and I want to, learn about the lifestyle or, go to the extreme. But you can start with baby steps such as, hey, I was driving home from work and I saw this sex shop down the street. I saw this outfit and I think I saw it in the window. It would be very beautiful on you. Or, hey, what do you think about trying a vibrator, which by the way, if you're thinking about one, tracysdog.com, get PCAT or Coco, amazing for solo play or with your partner, and use code CRAVERS20 to get 20% off your entire order. I had to throw that out there because let me tell you, everybody needs a PCAT. Everyone does. So have that communication, build up that trust and have, that dialogue where you guys can share and talk about things. My partner and I have I'm very, very, very lucky, very blessed. We have an amazing sex life. We really, really do. And we still talk about our sex life almost every single day. I'll send him a sexcapade recap, I like to call it. So the next day I'll give a breakdown. Like, it was so hot when you did this. And then when you did that. And oh my gosh, what a top tier moment that was. Like top 5, amazing. It boosts his confidence. It lets him know what I like. He tells me what he likes right back. It's very open and he feels free and safe to express and share with me. So you want to have that open communication with your partner. So you want to level up your sex life? Start talking about it, especially with your partner. And I appreciate when you come to me and ask me questions, but at the end of the day, the most important person that you need to be talking to about this is the one that you're having sex with. Okay, so communication. Up next, to level up, you want to try new things. We were just talking about, visiting a sex shop, but you can try a toy, right? Like if you've never used a toy before, especially with your partner in the bedroom, it could be so exciting. And talk about endless opportunities, right? You can have a wand or OG Pop or Coco or Rosie or PCAT, who's currently being charged because I use her all the time, right? Like there's so many different toys you can try. You could have a toy of the week with your partner, right? Like, hey, this week we're going to try that, or this week we're going to do this. And there's so many different things and ways to explore. So try something new. A toy is a great idea. Also, you can start thinking about learning about other types of sex. You can read erotica and share together what you've been learning, what you've been interested in, and what really tickled your pickle. Right. One of my favorite things to do is to make a fantasy to-do list with my partner. So we have a shared note on our phone. And whenever it I'll think of something or do something and I'll be like, "Oof, I want to try this." So one of his was, I want to undress you when you come home from work. Like he just looks so sexy when he goes to work. And I'm like, hey, I want to undress you when you come home. So I added it to the list. And he was like, hey, do you want to do that when I get home? I'm like, yes. Like it's already a built-in list. Or if you have a date night scheduled or you're thinking about something that you want to do exciting with your partner, this list is growing and you got to start checking things off, right? So make that fantasy to-do list and share. And it's also like kind of like a very neutral space just to pop it in the note or write it down where you and your partner share. And they could be like, oh, you put this on here. You want to try a toy? Okay. I've always been interested in that. And then it, bam, opens it up. You start talking, you start communicating, and the rest is history. Off to orgasm land, right? So try new things. Do not be afraid to explore and, get out there. I think that people, and listen, there's nothing wrong with being vanilla, but variety is the spice of life. And rainbow sherbet is a lot of fun. Okay. So get yourself out there, try different things. It really will spice up your sex life in 2025. Another thing I want to talk about, because I know a lot of couples have a hard time just fitting stuff in. We talked about scheduling a date night. I'm going to say something that's going to be controversial. And I know a bunch of people are going to probably comment and say, no way, that's not fun. It takes the fun out of it. However, I highly suggest scheduling sex. If that is what you need to do to get it in, then so be it. Okay. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, scheduling the sex might make it such an amazing and upcoming event for you that you get excited about it. And it's like a form of foreplay. Like, oh, I can't wait for Wednesday. Is it Wednesday yet? Which coincidentally is hump day. Right? Like, is it hump day yet? Like, I can't wait to see you at 7:00 on Wednesday night. It builds the desire. It gets you excited. And so there's absolutely positively nothing wrong with scheduling sex. Okay. There's just not, even if you're having a lot of sex. Like I will tell my partner, like, hey, on Friday when I see you after work, like Pound Town, right? And that's scheduling sex. Okay. So it's totally fine. And when you think about it, when you first are dating and meeting and getting to know and falling in love with your partner, that like honeymoon phase, you're technically scheduling sex, right? Like, oh, let's have dinner Thursday night, AKA let's smash, right? Like you're scheduling sex every time you make a date with them in that honeymoon phase. So there's nothing wrong with scheduling it now. In fact, it will bring back a lot of excitement and fun into your life. Okay, so we talked about communication, trying new things, scheduling time for intimacy. It's huge. Next, to level up your sex life, I want to talk about something that I think is very important, and that is look good, feel good. Okay, so let's get into the gym. Let's start eating right, taking care of ourselves, because when you're confident, that boosts everything in the bedroom. I also like to remind people, and I'm kind of looking in the mirror at myself with this. I've lost a lot of weight in my life. I've had a tummy tuck, so I have a huge scar. I have the big scar across my midsection, and it was something I was always very insecure about. And then I quickly and simply realized no one gives a shit, right? So who cares about a little imperfection? And then a pro tip that I have, if you're nervous about that stuff, get a red light in the room. Red light is so sexy. It really blends everything in. Everybody looks sexy under the red light. So get a red light and try that. But look good, feel good. Get yourself a new outfit. Put makeup on. I'm a big fan of, hair, nails, makeup. It builds my confidence, which ultimately leads to me feeling better, more secure, more confident in and out of the bedroom. So to level up your sex life, get in there, like start looking and feeling good for yourself, which ultimately will lead to better sex with your partner. Okay. Another way that I want to talk about leveling up is use lube. The amount of people when I discuss lube and they're like, I don't need that. I don't want that. I've never used lube. I don't need to use lube. I'm here to tell you, we all could use lube. I know it could be like the stigma, right? Well, I'm wet enough for my partner. I don't need anything extra. I don't need a supplement. When the reality of the situation is, sex is friction, right? And when you're at it for, 15, 20, 45 minutes, that's a lot of friction building up. And I don't care who you are or what kind of waterfall you think you're getting into. There's times where you need lube, and also sex feels exponentially better when you have lube, especially as we're getting older and, women, we're going through menopause. A lot of stuff changes with you and your body. Like, I'm going through it right now, and I have been using lube for years, okay? And there's absolutely positively nothing wrong with it. Let's lose the shame of using lube. It really does. It's amazing, especially like in the morning, or like I remember last week my partner like woke me up and was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Grab the lube," because I just woke up, right? Like I'm not there yet. And you want to go to Pound Town, that's fine, but like we need lube. And if you are just, Adrian, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to bring it up with my partner. Something that you can do is actually get some lube. And remember, a little bit goes a long way. Like a pea-sized drop of lube. And you can put it around the outside, a little bit up in there. He'll never know. He'll never, ever know. It's like that. How are they going to know? They're going to know. They'll never know. Okay. So just trust me on that. And I've actually done that a lot in the past, especially when I was like getting off of my period, or it was like the week right before my period where I was a little bit more dry. You can use that lube around the outside edge and then a little bit in there, and he'll never know. I am a huge fan of water-based lubes. Astroglide is one of my favorite brands. And so just remember, water-based. I feel like Astroglide is not sticky. It doesn't smell. There's no taste. And so be mindful of what product you're choosing. I do not like KY at all. I feel like it's very sticky. So, but use that pro tip, and you don't have to talk about it with your partner. But I also want to say, like, if you feel like you can't talk about it with your partner, that's kind of an issue in itself, right? So, we can talk about that more. But use lube, level up. It makes everything better. Okay, it's friction, baby. I also want to say too that foreplay starts at the beginning of the day. Don't forget that. Do not underestimate the power of sending a sext or leaving your partner a note, telling them on the way out the door, "I can't wait to see you later," or "You look so amazing. I want that later," right? Text, touch, flirt, leaving notes, whatever it may be. I actually just texted my partner a picture before I came in here, and I was like, "Hey, midday break, I'm excited to see you later," or "This is the toy I'm going to use this afternoon," or, whatever. But let me tell you something. He's thinking about that right now. He's like, "Oh my God, she's at home doing this." And so he's going to want that later. Like, that's the point. That's the purpose. And, foreplay, it starts outside the bedroom, and it can start at the beginning of the day. So do not underestimate the power of that. That is a surefire way to level up your sex life. All right. The last one I want to say, especially as we're getting older, our bodies are changing, is talk to your doctor. I have so many women in my life and who reach out to me online and they say, "Adrian, sex is painful for me. Sex hurts." That's not okay. Like, let's fix that. When I went to my gynecologist a couple of weeks ago, she actually shared with me, I was having like a serious bout with BV. I don't know if it was because I had a new partner or what was going on, but it was just, I couldn't get rid of it. And she was like, "Adrian," she was like, "I have, we'll do antibiotics, so we'll clear it right up. These are pH suppositories that you can use, boric acid in between to help counteract it." And she just openly spoke with me and resolved my issues. And then I had a friend who, sex started to get painful for her, and they gave her an estrogen patch. And now she's, flooded basement all the time, and sex has been nothing but amazing for her. Speak up. Talk to your doctor. And men, I want to say too, like, I know ED is a big thing. Your testosterone levels are lowering. I know a lot of men that are on T, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with the little blue pill, right? Like, if you need help, if you need something, fix it. Don't be insecure about it, because then, everything just goes downhill from there. So make sure you're talking to your doctor. Talk with your friends, ask them what they've used. There's just lots of different things and lots of different ways, especially in today's world. It was funny. Like my doctor was like, I have a pill for wetness. I have a pill if you're having BV. I have a pill if sex is painful. I have a pill. I mean, there were so many different things like, or cream or topical or whatever it may be. And so, there's resources out there to help you. Do not let it hinder you from having good sex. All right. So I want you to level up your sex life. What are you going to choose from this list? So I gave you 7 ways. Communicate with your partner. We should be doing that every day, all day anyway. Try new things. If you want a toy recommendation, reach out to me. I'm here to help. Schedule time for intimacy if you have to. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a big fan of looking good and feeling good. So get yourself in the gym, go for a walk, buy yourself that new outfit, treat yourself because it ultimately boosts your confidence, which leads to better sex in the bedroom. And then use lube, okay? Like if you've never used lube before, I encourage you to get some and try it out. You will see sex is exponentially better. And then don't forget that foreplay starts at the beginning of the day. And also, if you're having any types of issues in the bedroom, and ladies, I can't stress this enough. Like my doctor told me, she said, Adrienne, sex should never be painful, ever. So talk to your doctor, make sure you're being seen and heard, and then they can give you something that can rectify any issue that you have. All right, so I want you to level up, pick every single way, and have better sex. I'll see you guys next week.